Thanks to everybody that supported us over the last 15 months.
I want to say thank you all so much for coming out. I felt like this was the executive director here. And aren't they just fantastic? I have to tell you. For those of you who might not have heard that last little thing that Harry just said, 15 years ago, 15 years ago, Aaron had a vision. Now, a vision without action is just a dream. That's all it is. But lots and lots and lots of persistence and working. And look at what dreams come true. Is this not amazing? So whoever the leadership was here at the facility 15 years ago, who said to Aaron, yeah, go with it, also must have shared in that vision. This is the most exciting thing, and we are so proud of our Richmond Center Professional Ensemble and Aaron for your vision and leadership and just the accomplishments that you all have done. It's just been outstanding. So I just want to say thank you to Aaron and to every member of the professional ensemble and how much we all enjoy your music and your hard work. Woo! How great this was. So I'm going to turn this over to Steve Nipple, and I think she's got a few other people.
I have been working with Aaron in the professional ensemble since shortly after he founded the group in 1997. I came here in 1998. And the best part of my job is I get to travel with them. Whenever they go off-site, I go with them. And initially, I helped Aaron move the instruments. I don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. Sometimes it wasn't too bad, but there was one time we were going through a kitchen in a hotel. Why they made us go through the kitchen, I did not know. The floor was wet and slippery, and we slid through there and drug instrument cases. One of the best parts for me about traveling with the professional ensemble is to watch the audience react to this group of musicians. And in turn, to watch our musicians sort of feed off of what they're getting from the audience. And I sort of get to take a break and I get to just listen to them play for a while. When Aaron founded the percussion ensemble in 1997, there were 4 members. It has grown over the years. The composition of the ensemble has changed a bit. They've played in some very prestigious venues, 1 or 2 not so much. First time I went with them, they played in front of a frozen food cooler at the opening of Wellsprings here in town. I'm sorry, Whole Foods here in town. The first CD they recorded on was called Filler's Galaxy, and it was Sarah Johnson's recording for violin and piano, and she was actually a violin professor at what was then the North Carolina School of the Arts. And she invited Aaron to compose a piece for violin and percussion for the CD. It's called Noah's, as I remember. It sort of happened before I came, and I got in the middle of it. But the group traveled to Atlanta to actually do the recording, major undertaking. I would like to introduce Jane Davidson. Jane's daughter, Debbie, was one of the members of the first percussion ensemble, original percussion ensemble, traveled with them to Atlanta, and she has a wonderful little story about that trip. Jane?
Well, when they were getting ready to go to Atlanta, Debbie's daddy said to Debbie, you'll have to call up Uncle Kurt while you're in Atlanta. And Debbie said, Daddy, this is a business trip. So he meant business for them, and Debbie did too. She loved him so much, and in fact, she loved his whole family. When Lily came along, she was trying to dress her with some of her hand-me-downs, and she couldn't believe it when she outgrew her so quick. And she absolutely adored his mother and daddy. So it just runs in the family. They were just all so talented. They wrote to her letters, and she wrote back, and it's just amazing how Debbie did love Aaron and his family. I just can't even comprehend the talent and ability that he has and what he does with these clients. And Aaron, I expect you to be here when you're old and gray, because I can't imagine any job that would be more rewarding than what you're doing here with these special folks. And the talent you have, I expect to see you in many famous places. So the thing I love most about Aaron, the night I lost Eddie, he came over and played and sang You're My Sunshine to Debbie. So that's really special.
I mentioned some prestigious places that the group has played, and not so much, but mostly they were wonderful places. And before I came here, the group played at SIGA there was an opening reception for violin, and if you don't know who that is, she is the person who designed the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Played at SIGA several other times. But one of my greatest pleasures was to travel to New York with them and watch them and listen to them play at the American Folk Art Museum in Manhattan and some other New York venues. You can imagine what it takes to move this group. We had a great time. The next person I'd like to introduce is Bill Tribby, and he is the retired Dean of General Studies. I hope I have that right. At the School of the Arts, and I first met Bill because I needed some letters of support written for the percussion ensemble, and I got in touch with Bill, and he is a great supporter of the percussion ensemble, and I'm going to invite him up here to say a few words.
Each of us has a personal story about the Enrichment Center and about this percussion ensemble. And I wrote mine down about 12 years ago, and it still holds. So I'm not going to apologize for reading it. This really is a letter, part of a letter that I wrote to Sue that she mentioned in support of funding for a new compact disc featuring Aaron and the Enrichment Center Percussion Ensemble in April of 2001. Although I had known Aaron Batchelder when he was an outstanding music student at the North Carolina School of the Arts, I was not aware of his more recent work at the Enrichment Center until being introduced to it over a year ago by Gene Butler of the Thomas S. Cannon Institute for the Arts. In spite of whatever experience I might have brought with me, I was not prepared for my first visit with Aaron's percussion ensemble on Coliseum Drive. It was at the beginning of a rehearsal for an upcoming public performance. Yet instead of what I had been used to in a conservatory environment, practicing of scales, rereading of troublesome passages, self-isolated performance, here were hands reaching out to greet me, personal concern over why one of their fellow ensemble members was unable to be there that day. Hugs and excitedly shared memories with Sarah Johnson, guest professional artist, and through it all, constant inclusion of me, with hands holding mine, as if I'd been there many times long ago. Perhaps I had. For since that morning, as I've heard the ensemble in concert and listened repeatedly to the Fiddler Galaxy compact disc, I've been brought joltingly back again and again to the central truth of all art, that whatever concert fame or advanced degree we may accumulate, art can only begin where the person, the creator, the audience, is. It must begin there in order to take us all beyond. Last October, 2000, I was part of a national conference on the liberal education of artists, which focused on ways in which those responsible for the education of our future artists might best prepare young artists to develop and utilize their skills in a multitude of cultural contexts. We invited Aaron to conduct an experiential workshop, sharing the process of composing for, rehearsing, and performing with these students. During that session, he guided professional musicians, teachers of acting and the visual arts, of the humanities and sciences, through a mock rehearsal, beginning with each of us from where we were, rather than from where he, as teacher, thought we, as students, should be. I'm ashamed to admit that it was an educational truth so basic that many of us have forgotten. Then he played selections from a video and a compact disc featuring the ensemble performing music, which he had composed for them. There was absolute silence at the end. Finally, a musicologist from Peabody whispered loudly enough for all of us in that circle to hear and to murmur, "Amen." That music is so complex that they managed it. How? That question lingers above us. We know the answer, yet it is brought home to us so rarely, especially when we dare to allow the arts to flow into and through populations too frequently omitted from our elitist cultural dialogue. All of this is too much, yet not enough, to express continued admiration for the miracles which the Enrichment Center encourages daily through the arts. And thanks to Aaron and these generations of enrichment percussion ensemble members, my first walk into that rehearsal, the whispered how in that national conference are only the beginning. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
The next person I'd like to introduce to you is John Williams. He is the father of Valerie Williams, who is part of the percussion ensemble and was one of the original members.
Thank you. This is my wife, PJ, and of course, Valerie. And we're honored to have Valerie here at the Enrichment Center, and indeed in the percussion ensemble. I'm a classical musician myself, and I am really into the sound of this group. It's incredible. What's already been said was what I had on my notes, so I won't repeat them. But, you know, the complexity of the music that they do, the polyrhythms, the syncopated rhythms, you know, the 2 against 3s, you know, it's incredible the way this music is actually taking form. Aaron, the only thing I have not heard is a few.
I'm working on it.
But at any rate, this is a wonderful group, and we are very pleased and proud to have Valerie here, and we thank the Enrichment Center for this continued excellent program. And we hope that more people in this area and beyond actually support the center and raise a lot of money. Yes, a lot of money is.
Thank you, John. The next person I'd like to introduce is Reverend Kelly Carpenter. He is the pastor at Green Street United Methodist Church, which is just around the corner from us.
Good evening. One of my favorite books is by Adrian Rich, and the title of it is powerful in and of itself. It's The Dream of a Common Language. And the title itself kind of shows how difficult it is for us in our world, especially with all of our diversity and all of our different ways of being, for us to actually speak to one another. We may share a language like English, but we oftentimes do not share the language of our souls, the language of our ways of being, and it keeps us separated. Music has been called the universal language. And what I am so overwhelmed by when I hear the enrichment ensemble, I always think of this is the language of dreams. This is the language, and the music that you hear is that very language. Aaron's commitment to helping this come about and his vision about it is very touching on him, because it is the work of being able to kind of find a common language by tapping into the universal language of music. And his ability to do that and to draw that out of people is very rich, very, very powerful. I'm really moved by it. It reminds me of a woman I met years ago in New Hampshire. She was almost 25 years ago, and she had single-handedly opened up a number of facilities that helped de-institutionalize the entire state of New Hampshire. That was her goal, and she was a very, very powerful individual, but she had one principle that drove the companies that she put together to take people out of institutions, put them in home dwellings, and she said, it is not, our clients do not fail. We fail in the ability to create an environment for them to succeed. And I think about that quote, and I think about what Aaron has done here with this enrichment ensemble, and being able to create an environment so that this music could be drawn out and sing out loud. I think of, nothing stopped Aaron from doing that. In fact, he had to invent different ways of writing out music so that people could be drawn out and their talents and gifts. And I hear that tonight, and I'm really touched. And I'm just grateful for Aaron for your vision and what you have brought to this community. And by the way, I'm inviting you back to Green Street.
Thank you.
Thank you. The final speaker I'm going to invite up here is Jeffrey Dean Foster. And Jeffrey sang and played on the third CD that the percussion ensemble put out called 10 Songs.
It's harder than playing.
And I think he's one of his biggest fans. Jeffrey?
I'm not accustomed to standing in front of folks without and talking without a guitar, and I didn't have time to write you a song here. So.
Later.
It's been easier to pull off than this, but if the gentleman Bill Trivy can read something, I feel like I can read it. But the first time I came to the Enrichment Center to play with the percussion ensemble, I went to the rehearsal room door, and the nameplate on the door says Aaron Batchelder, Music Specialist. And ever since then, I've called her the music specialist, to his embarrassment and annoyance. But when I give it a little more thought, I realized that this description does kind of fit. Aaron is a specialist at making his band members feel special, and at the same time making them feel just like any other great band. Aaron is an artist through and through, and music is his art. He quietly lives and breathes music until it lives in everybody around him. I've been in a lot of bands over the years, and believe me, every band member needs their own specialized method of communication, encouragement, and even coddling. I've always been pretty good at bringing folks together to make some kind of noise, and patience is a big part of it. Aaron specializes in being patient. He is patiently and lovingly developed specialized methods of teaching and communicating with all of the creative musicians in the percussion ensemble. This is not unlike any other rock and roll band that I've been in, but Aaron's methods just have to be more wide-ranging and thoughtful. He's also been able to bring the musicians, Jonathan, Andrew, Valerie, Meredith, Walker, and Marcy, together as a real band and not just a group of individuals. I remember seeing them getting ready to play at Green Street United Methodist Church a few years ago. They were all huddled together around the drum kit, whispering and hanging out, waiting to make some music, exactly like every other band I've ever seen before a show. And they are just like any other band, except maybe a little more well-behaved. The music specialist brought this together. A bunch of different musicians coming together as a collective force. All of this takes special gifts and talents and temperament. As much as we all appreciate the ECPE and enjoy listening to them, watching them, and if you're lucky like me, playing with them once in a while, I think it's easy to forget how it all comes together. Your music specialist, Aaron Batchelder, is performing some amazing alchemy in this building. You may want to make sure that he's not violating any fire codes. Thanks, Aaron, for including me in your rock and roll band, and thank you, band. Good to see you guys. Have a good night.
Yes.
Meredith, I'm here. Walker.
Meredith, wake up.
Andrew, Jonathan.
Thanks, everybody. That was pretty overwhelming, but I liked it. So I want to introduce you to the group. Those of you who don't know everybody, let's see. I'm going to just go from my left to picked a bad cable. I'm going to go from my left to my right. This is Meredith Laney, who was playing the vibraphone for you. Valerie Williams, who played the bells. Marcy Haley was on the drums. Walker Lewis Jr. also on the drums and the marimba. Andrew Shoemaker on the organ and percussion. And Jonathan Lindsay on the piano. So thanks everybody. It's been a wonderful, wonderful 15 years. And stick with us. We'll be around a while longer.
I will read it to you. The Enrichment Center recognizes Aaron M. Batchelder, founder and director of the Enrichment Center Percussion Ensemble, for his 15 years of uncompromising commitment and leadership.
If you practice, you can get the hang of it.
So I hope we don't see any more of our CDs and t-shirts here in the gallery tomorrow.
All
Buy
the
them all.
CDs are out there, t-shirts. We've got a great exhibition. You buy it, you take it off the wall. Cash register is still open. Refreshments are still here. Thank you to everybody.
So there's lots of great art stuff, all for sale. Thanks everybody.